that ball off. They were up at the line of scrimmage. And I kept telling you guys, they got to throw the ball deep. No matter if they complete it or not. They got to let those safeties know that because now instead of you going to 4-2-5, shit, you got 4 people in the box. You see what I'm saying, Coach Campbell? You got them safeties, as soon as you turn it back and hand that ball off, they already up in there.
So, Coach, do you think, with that being said, brand new quarterback with Norfolk State that wasn't expected to start, how much confidence and how much do you allow him to throw the ball like you're saying? Or do you say, hey, we're just going to go to our strength and keep this game close where, you know, we're talking about a 21-17 game, get some turnovers, hopefully FAMU's having a bad day? Is that because I hear a lot of times about what the quarterback should do, but I always ask, can the quarterback do what he should do? That's the question.
Oh, well, that's when you start giving the quarterback options, you know, and that's why I've said that the spread to me has never been just an offensive. That's our offense, the spread, you know. I always looked at it as a package. And I think people get caught up into that because when it's time when you need 4 minutes to run off at least 2 or 4 minutes, you got to bring the big boys in there. We got to go pound and come and eat the clock. You know what I'm saying? You can't eat the clock in 4 wide. And I see it all the time. It just makes me so angry. Look, we running the football. We up 7 or we up 9 or we up 2 scores. You know what I mean? We want to run out of here. But they stay in 4 wides because their offense is spread and they probably hadn't recruited a tight end or some extra linemen that come into the football game.
Well, and Coach, what you're really describing is the dilemma that Howard was in the celebration ball. They kept trying to run the ball, but they were running out of a spread formation. And
you know what else they did, Coach? They gave Willie Simmons, one of the best offensive coordinators in football. They kept giving him the ball back. He was going to score. That's what he do, Coach. And the more you give him the ball back, the more he have a chance to score. And then that one time, Howard, when they were up, they could have went up top, and I guarantee you they could have hit it. And it wasn't about necessary scoring. It was about letting them know y'all can't load up on us.
Now, Coach, I want to talk about a little bit about their quarterback. So Jalen Daniels, who's going to be the new quarterback, played 8 games at JUCO, completed 57% of his passes, threw for 1,200 yards. But here's the thing. Only 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Well, 1,200 yards ain't much either.
Yeah. So this kind of, right.
That's okay.
So this again leads me to believe that looking at what he just did he's not a guy that just lived up in JUCO.
Numbers. What was his rushing?
They only showed that he only ran for two touchdowns. So I think he's a big kid that is just more. I'm assuming they're looking for him to be a pocket passer. I would assume, Coach. Haven't seen him play, but I'm just kind of looking at his numbers at face value. When you have a guy like that, and now you know that again, and I guess I'm just trying to get this breakdown because this is what people want to hear. They want to hear the breakdown of this game with this team, what will Coach Cole do going against this family, and then we'll flip it over on the other side. But when you have that, what do you do, Coach?
Well, we're gonna run the offense around what he feels comfortable with, and there's some things that we gotta do that keep him honest. Of course, we can't let them load up on him. And this is once again, I look at my offense as a toolbox. When you need a monkey wrench, we're the monkey. When you need some grips, or when you need a screwdriver, a Phillip, or a flathead, you know what I mean? You could go in there. So in other words, I'm gonna have me some draws. I'm gonna have me some screens. I'm gonna have me some quick stuff that he could get to. We're gonna be able to play power game. We're gonna do some bootleg stuff. And if he's a guy, we're gonna have some quarterback runs. Not many, because I don't know what the third team look like. Because you don't want him to get him knocked out the game. We're not going in the game to not lose the game. We're going in the game to win the game. So to go in the game to win a game, you got to do what this kid do best. And whatever that is, you'll know that from practice. But I would definitely show Florida A&M a lot of looks, and I definitely would run what this kid can run and what's good at and what he feels comfortable with. It ain't about me. It ain't about my big playbook. It's about what can this kid carry and hold and execute when it's time for him to play.
Now, Coach, let's flip it over. So we're talking about Florida A&M offense. New offensive coordinator, but has been with Coach Simmons, so the offense has not changed. New quarterback, new running back, offensive line, all is where the experience at. Running backs, offensive line, wide receivers, got speed out there. What do you do? And also, how much? And Coach, I've heard a lot of this. They say that Daniel Richardson is 5'10". He looks even shorter than that. Looks like a Doug Flutie. How much does that matter in what you're calling for? If you have a short quarterback that's 5'10", 5'9", and what the type of offense that you think Florida A&M is going to run?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter how tall the kid is or how wide he is. It's how much that he can dilute into what you're trying to do. And he's been in the program, so he's pretty much familiar with some of it. Again, if my offensive line is the veterans, then we're gonna shift it over to the veterans. We're gonna make sure that we mix it up good enough where they can't load up to say, oh, they just gonna run the football. And that's why you got to, the fake dive and the bootlegs and that kind of thing. With that speed on the outside, again, with a new quarterback, you don't want to throw the ball down the field a lot. Hopefully they working on a lot of bubble screens, and that way that kid can get acclimated to the game. He can feel good. I'm completing some passes. I'm moving the offensive down the field. I don't want to throw it all on his shoulders. I want to be able to make sure that we mix a good run, pass, draw, screen mixture. I don't want to get stale on the kid, but I don't want to put the game. Now, always, Cowboy and Rock, is what's happening. Meaning, what's the score? Is our defense playing well? Are we down 2 touchdowns? Are we down 3? What part of the game that I'm gonna say, man, if you don't or not, we got to throw the football. We got to move it downfield. We got to get down and score. We down 3 touchdowns. And we down 2 touchdowns. So a lot of adjustments you got to make on those game situations. Coach Henry is his name, OC.
Yeah, Coach Henry. And he's offensive line coach. Yep.
Yeah, so he's got to be. Oh, I hate offensive line coaches that are OCs. Boy, you don't kill me there. Boy, look, we better bring our pillow to the game, coach, because they're gonna be running the hell out of that ball. I don't know Coach Henry that well. I probably the more line coaches and look, I would never argue. Great defense and run game win championships. I would never argue that point. But damn it, they run the ball too much sometimes. You be falling asleep.
Go on, Rocky, I want to clear up one thing, and I think we got a former FAMU football player, Wisdom Anderson. Appreciate you. I think what Coach Cole was talking about is not. He knows that Dan Richardson has played before. He was talking about starting the first start for FAMU. That's what he was talking about. Starting and what that adjustment has to be. Not that he does not have starting experience, because he's played 42 games. So and he's a graduate. Yeah, all right, go ahead, Rocky.
Oh, yeah, so he's a pretty veteran player then.
Yeah, very veteran.
Wisdom also says that he's not your typical O-line coach. So, Coach, we may not have to get that pillow and go. But I will say this, Coach. O-line coaches tend to call a more physical brand of football. Let's just say that, and
the object of the game is the score. The ideal game is stop people to score.
So coach, and me and coach, me and Campbell have talked about this extensively.
Y'all cheating on me?
No. We were discussing Willie. And one of my thoughts about Willie's play calling was this. Sometimes Willie took liberties to do things in the game that were risky when it wasn't necessary to win the game. You understand what I'm saying? That you up by 10, you're dominating on the ground. Why call that pass? Why call that play in this situation? On 2nd and 4, why are we trying to get a home? Why are we trying to hit the home run rather than just run the ball for the first down and get a new set of downs? And in those cases, some of Musa hit them, and then there are other situations where Musa threw it to the other team. And so I was just saying that maybe a more conservative game plan may generate more points because if you have a more consistent passer than you had in Musa.
Yeah, there's so many variables in the game. And let me say this, and let me make sure I'm clear. My first championship as a head coach that I won, we finished number 12 in the nation in rushing at 275 a game. So I get it. When I first got to Ohio Valley Conference, we were throwing for over 300 yards a game the first 2 years. And I went down to visit LSU, and that's when they had a guy named Falk at the tailback. And we went through their running game and, met Nick Saban and all that. And I knew then that I had to get away from just throwing the ball and doing stuff like you said, Coach. And so we were able to do that. So, and we went on to win 2 championships because we were balanced. We averaged like 498 a game, something like that, the total offense. So there's so many variables. You just can't say, oh, well, let me just go in the game and be. And like I was saying, that's what Howard did. They gave the game, said, this is our game. This is what we're going to live with. And this is what we're gonna die with. And I just don't think that you do that. I think you die trying, as 50 Cent say. So I'm gonna always try to keep you off balance. Sometimes I'm gonna throw a formation or throw a pass or do something just to give you something to think about. But more and more that a defensive coordinator have to prep for. Can you imagine? And I don't know, you guys ain't never been in a room where the defense coordinator look at his board. He puts up all the formations that you run. And then he put the plays that you do. Okay, this formation they like to throw out of it. Because he's trying to get tendencies too. But when a defense coordinator is hard to get tendencies on you, that make it difficult. And then if you could speed the game up of getting plays in and out where he can't even make calls, I love those defensive coordinators who try to change players for players with me. See, then now I'm gonna catch him with more defensive backs on the field, and then we be able to check at the line and run the football. Or he got so many defensive players in the game and not enough defensive backs where we gonna have 5 wide, where I got a tailback that actually can run routes like. So those are variables that I like to see when I'm looking at a team play football, play games. I just don't like to see. I get tired, and you guys can chime in on this to see either we got 4 wide receivers or 3 wide receivers and 1 guy. And we keep doing the same thing, zone inside, zone pop outside, zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you say, it's 31, 30 inches, 32. Bring a big fullback in, or bring, you know what I mean? And there's so many times that you don't get that first down because the spread is your offense.
Well, I think going back to, and I'm referencing the Celebration Bowl for this reason. Florida A&M's defense was so effective, right, that they were getting in. It wasn't 3rd and short they were getting in. They were in 3rd and long. And so it was either run the ball and punt or pass the ball when they know you're going to pass. You understand what I'm saying? So and I think, and back to your point, Coach, I think if you're going to take chances, you make calculated chances that are kind of off script or unpredictable when you make those chances. My point with Willie, he was always unpredictable, but he may not have needed that play. It seemed like this. I got all these plays I drew up and I wrote on this play sheet and I want to call them all. You know what I mean? And and by God, he called them all. And so with Musa particularly, and this is what Mr. Campbell pointed out, that there are many times Willie dialed it up and the wide receiver was wide, butt ass naked, open, running down the field, and Musa missed it. That's a great play, but in some cases, they could have ran the ball and got 8 yards, and they wouldn't have been in 3rd and long, or they wouldn't have to punt. That's all I say.
I remember we were playing Doug Williams and them, Grambling. I was at Alabama State, and we had just scored, to go up. And we went back and we kicked out to them, and they fumbled. They fumbled the ball, I think, on their 25-yard line. And I got them on their heels. So what y'all think I called? I called a triple reverse. We pitched it to the boundary. He gave it to the wide receiver coming back, and then here come another receiver. He gave it to him. And, Coach, he walked in the end zone. Matter of fact, he stopped at Circle K and got a pack of hedges and smoked them and walked in the end zone because we had them on their heels. You said that Florida A&M, defense was so great. Yeah, it was because Howard was so stale. Howard was so predictable. You know what I'm saying? They were going to line up in this, and they was going to run the ball. And that made the game look like Florida A&M defense was so great, even though they were. But the offense was just so predictable. You never got a man out the box. You let them keep all the guys in the box. You never motioned to see if they were in man or zone. And you never gave them, you didn't give them a whole lot of looks. They just kept it close to the best. And some guys are just like that. I'm not that type of guy. Simmons ain't that type of guy. There's some guys, there's some good offensive coordinators that does a good job. You got to keep that defense off balance.
Well, let's do this. Because here's the thing. Coach Simmons is not walking through that door. We got new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, new head coach. Offensive system should be pretty much the same. Defense, I heard, is pretty much the same. Might be a little bit. How much of that plays into going into this game when you have new coaches who have been on the staff, but now taking that leadership role? Because the reason why I'm asking, I want to focus because this is a pivotal to me. This game for both sides, and I'm going to talk about the Norfolk State because I think this is, as we have a subject there, this is a hot seat game for Odoms. But I want to talk about Coach Cozy and that offensive staff because they, to me, have a lot of pressure on them of the standard that was already set because you got people in the chat, oh, that was Willie. Good, you guys are not going to be it because only Willie did that. Rock is still talking about Willie dialed this up and things like that. But I want to talk about the coaches that are there now and what is their mindset and what do they need to do to have a successful season and starting with this game.
Let me say this, Coach. Nothing's guaranteed. Very seldom do you have a coach like Willie Simmons and a team like Florida A&M had to win the national championship. And then now that leader is gone. To me, it's more of how Cozy them came in, meaning that they keep everything in place by the number. You know what I mean? By how the team approached practice, how because all that counts and all that matters. I wish we could have got down there and just see how the team, are they loose? Is Cozy a strict guy or is he not a strict guy? Before you even get to the field, is the approach the same? Where are the kids' heads at? Are they thinking, oh, we just going to walk out there because we the champions and Norfolk is not a very good team? But they do got 13 guys on all conference team. You know what I'm saying? So they got to be something. I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's always the first game of the year. Like you say, it's a lot of newness around Florida A&M. I don't think they just going to walk through the league like they did last year because the culture is different. Now the culture is Cozy's culture. It's not Willie Simmons' culture. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on, again, how Coach Cozy approached it. Did he say, man, look, I'm going to stay shit. See, I'm an economist, meaning if it works for them, it works for me. I ain't got to change the wheel. I ain't got to even color the wheel. You know what I mean? I might shine it up, but I'm going to do exactly like it was done because it's a winning formula. 2 back-to-back 9-game seasons or 3, it's a winning formula. You know what I'm saying? So
actually 4. Actually, it's 4 because we won 9 leaving the MEAC and we won 9, 9, and 12 last year.
So it's got a lot to do with. I don't think it's about the X's and O's, coach, for Florida A&M. I think it's about the Jimmy and Joes. How they gonna approach this game? How are the coaches treating them? Do the kids feel good? Do they second guess the coach? That's the stuff that I'm worried about with Florida A&M. I think they'll go in and win this football game. You know what I'm saying? I think they will take the game from Norfolk. You know what I mean? But I don't think nothing's guaranteed.
Right. So, Rocky, when are we gonna pick our scores? I think this is a good time.
Yeah. I'm ready when y'all are.
Well, Coach, I'll go first. Here's what I'll say. When I looked, because I always will give people credence. Go ahead.
Leave your thought right there. Chad, I'm looking at the ticket. People give coaches too much credit. Talent beats coaching every time. Chad. That means that every team in the pros win because it's talent everywhere. It's the best talent everywhere in the NFL, right, Coach? And in the NBA.
Well, I tell you one thing, he can't be a Dallas Cowboy fan because Dallas has had all that talent, ain't won nothing. And most of these people weren't even born when they played in the Super Bowl. So I totally disagree with that.
I'm sorry, Coach. I had to.
Yeah. I don't know about that with Chad. I mean, we appreciate you, but come on, bro. Like I say, that's a quick point out. And like I said, I'm from Tallahassee, and Wisdom I know Wisdom's younger, but my EA knows this. Florida State had the most talented team every year for 15 years and only won 3 championships. And they had All-Americans and first rounders up and down that roster. And Miami would come in there and whoop their ass all the time. So I disagree with that. I think this, and again, this kind of, not to get off on this, but Coach, this is what we talked about when you have coaching and what a coach can do. Because a coach can take a group of players that the other coach couldn't do anything with and make them winners. And then we've seen other coaches come in and the team was this and they went down. So coaching to me always factors in. Now you got to have talent. Do you have to have talent? Of course, I want FAMU to always have the most talent because that makes your job easier, right, Coach? When you have talent, that makes your job easier. But the part that separates champions, and I'm about to get off on our history lesson, Coach. Eddie Robinson had a lot of talent, but he was a great coach. Pete Richardson had a lot of talent, great coach. W.C. Gordon, a lot of talent, great coach. Rob Broadway. A lot of talent, but great coach. See how that kind of works hand in hand?
Well, Coach, all those were championship coaches, and they was in a league with 12 other schools. So what happened to the other coaches? You mean none of them had talent?
Coach, I think a lot of times, and I'm gonna bring up Willie again for this point right here. A lot of us SWAC football watchers saw Willie as a 12th man. Like, I don't know if y'all saw him act like that on FAMU side, but when watching the game, Willie seemed like the 12th man. And so what we're concerned about is what's gonna happen if FAMU gets in a stagnant space. Who's gonna pull it out the fire? Willie pulled it out the fire many times with a really slick play call, clever play design. Who's gonna be able to do that for FAMU this year?
Well,
go ahead, Coach.
Coaching is the ultimate thing. I of course, you guys know I referee, and I see out there. I see a lot of talented kids. Get upset because they fumbling the ball because they don't know where to line up, because that's coaching. You know what I'm saying? And that's down in Pop Warner, what he talked about. You got a kid that's bigger than everybody. He run over 7 people. And the play he ran wasn't even schemed right. He just out-talented everybody. Yeah, that happens in Pop Warner. But as you get up, in higher grades of levels of playing the game, coaching is the ultimate reason why teams win championships, not just talented players. And I'll say, give me a program, a good program, and I'm gonna beat a talented team 8 out of 10 times.
Wow, Coach. You said it. You said it.
Yeah.
Hey, so
but go ahead.
Let's get to the scores.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, listen, I've said this, and this FAMU team, I'm going to tell you what's funny. And as somebody that's been around SWAC, it always tickles me when my SWAC people, because they really don't know a lot about FAMU, Coach. A lot of them only found out about FAMU when we came to the SWAC. So I hear a lot of the predictions. We lost our coaches, which we actually didn't lose our coaches. Oh, you lost a bunch of players. Actually, we didn't lose as many players. We lost talented players, but we didn't lose 60, 70 guys, right? FAMU has a lot of talent. A lot of talent. What's going to me, to your point, is are the coaches going to rise to the occasion and coach the team? Because I think the talent is there. So for me, with Norfolk State losing their quarterback, bringing this guy I know he competed all summer, but I'm saying something. I got FAMU 35-14.
35-14.
I got FAMU 35-14. I think, again, and I wisdom said it, and I think a lot of people saying, I think this team, and this is what I've heard about this team. I heard this team is more disciplined, and that's not as a negative, because the beat of your team. This team, I think, has a different focus because of what they want to prove. That, again, Coach Simmons is not there. But I've heard the things that I need to hear. I didn't hear like, oh, well, we don't like what's going on. I heard everybody has bought in down there in Tallahassee. And I mean everybody. And I think that's the reason why the players were behind Coach Cozy. And I think Coach Cozy also knew, by him being a new coach, that he had to kind of tighten them screws up a little bit. You know what I mean? Keep everybody, let's tighten it up first. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. Let's make sure we're all going to class. Let's make sure we're all functioning as a team. And then as the season goes on. But I think that was the right mindset with this team. And I'm really excited about what I heard, because I think this team needed that. Because I think sometimes you'll see a team that is so talented and they just get away. Well, we win a championship, we won a game, we'll always do it like that. Sometimes you have to change it up. And I think changing it up is excellent. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I got us 35-14.
Well, I'll go ahead and go next, and then we'll save Coach for that. Unfortunately, this won't be the test for FAMU that I was hoping it would be. With the injured quarterback for Norfolk State, it won't be the test that I thought. And I just honestly believe that FAMU is a more talented team, and with the team coming in with their quarterback injured, FAMU's just going to really overwhelm them and get on them early and stay on. So I look at this game to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 28-7. I'll take that 28-7, Coach. 28-7 FAMU.
Well, you know, it's first game of the year, and I'm really looking. I think Florida A&M gonna win the game, uh, uh, but and one reason is because they quarterback, Norfolk's quarterback is out, and that kind of hurt the momentum. It hurts team morale. Now at the last minute, as an OC, I gotta, I gotta go back to the drawing board to make sure that we're calling the right things to make this kid successful. So I think the game would be much quarter. You got 28-7, you say? Yeah, I'm looking more of 24-7, 24-10. I'm looking forward to be one of those type games.
I mean, I honestly don't expect much from Fam offensively. I expect them to be less effective offensively instead of, throwing for 250 and running for 150. I expect them to run for 100 and throw for about 200.
Yeah.
And then I expect to Norfolk, backup quarterback, to give them one. So that's why I say I think they'll put up 21 points on their offense. I think Norfolk State will give them one, and then Norfolk State will score one. So again, 28-7 is what I think, but I think also I also agree with you. 24-10 is also a great score as well.
I just can't see Coach Odom going into his fourth, right, Coach? Ain't that what we said?
Yeah, fourth.
Coming to the opener and getting blown out. Because he knows, his team, if he was the right choice for Norfolk State, should get it done. You know what I'm saying? He should be able to get it done and go in there and play a competitive game. Now, he got to get out of the house free card because of his quarterback, but that don't mean he should go in there and get blown out 38-14. I don't see that happening. When you've been in the program for 4 years, I have no excuse for that. I think that's the year that you're supposed to really, really be, tell the truth, competing for the championship.
I agree, Coach. It's supposed to be a time.
Hey, Coach. Well, we look like we don't have any callers, so we're gonna be able to wrap up early. But it's surprising to me, Coach, that maybe this is just HBCU football. That so many fans are rooting on y'all downfall, Mr. Campbell. I mean,
listen. Hold on. I'm glad that this is a good topic. What tickles me, and I don't mind this, but this goes back to the part of that brag difference. You gotta understand something. We are the outsiders that have come into the SWAC. You got all them was kissing cousins and friends and all that. Southern and Jack, we hate each other, we whatever. Alcorn, we hate each other, Grambling, hate all that. Folks didn't know who we were, Rocky. You gotta understand something. We have only lost 2 games. 2 games in 3 years, and that was to them JSU super teams. Them folks don't like that. And not only did we beat everybody, Jackson State lost the Celebration Bowl with them super team. Now, you talking about coach. Now, we knew they had a talent advantage and lost 2 Celebration Bowls, and then we come back and win it. Them folks do not like that. So it tickles me when I see people picking against us because you're picking with your heart, not your head. Because there's no way, and that's why I know, or you don't know football. Because we got people that sit up there, and that's why I know you're not even taking the time to even do your research. Because you would even do the research, you would know that FAMU has this offensive line. And, Coach, it starts with the offensive line.
Well, here's another prime example why the guy's statement is so... Wait,
hold on, Coach. Yes, Paris, you had Shadur Sanders. You had Travis Hunter. You had James Houston. Those are some of the most talented teams in Jack State history. Those are super teams. You literally had a quarterback that literally, I'm talking about what I know. It was one of the best quarterbacks that ever played in the SWAC as a freshman and sophomore. So, yes, those were super teams. And don't even say they weren't, okay? Those were not average teams. So don't play that game. Stop it. All right, go ahead, Coach.
But this is another example. Willie Simmons, he didn't lose many at Prairie View. Let's just get that straight. He didn't lose many games in the SWAC at Prairie View. and then he goes to a more talented Florida A&M area, and he takes off. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the coaching he brought in. So I get it. It's tough for me, guys, because when I was in the conference as a young coach and as a older coach, you had some good coaches, man. You had some good coaches, and I'd be damned if somebody would enter into the conference and just because everywhere they recruited, I would have recruited. If they went after Hunter, I'd have been going after the other guy that played with Hunter.
But this is one of the things that I'm gonna say this, right? As an outsider coming into the SWAC, I was told that this other coach wouldn't work. I was told that there's no way it's gonna work without experience. It wasn't gonna work. You just can't walk in the SWAC and win, so on and so forth. And now I'm being told Cozy can't work. Though we can look at the talent, we can look at the infrastructure that's already in place, but you're telling me it's not going to work. I guess because y'all don't want it to work.
And we love it. And we love it. We love it. We love it. Got better recruiting classes than everybody. Us at Jack State always 1-1A with the recruiting classes. All this talent we brought in. And to get coach, let's go back to the point. What did Alabama A&M bring in for them to be number 9? But we're supposed to be bad. And we've got players. We've got defensive players that are potential defensive players of the year. And we're supposed to be as bad as Alabama A&M? Wow. Make that make sense to me, coach.
It does.
And I go back to this, and I say this. I watched Scotty's show today. I mean, it aired last night, but I didn't get a chance to watch it till today. You got people picking Southern as a surprise team just because they eat dirty rice and beans and rice. I mean, what are you basing it on?
Oh, and they're telling me that I'm being a homer because I don't do something. And I'm gonna say it, my nephew Perry White. Perry White does the Jaguar Journal. What is he? I'm like, bruh, you get paid for Southern. You ain't gonna. Perry has never said anything bad about Southern for the 3 years that he's been around this.
Oh,
he has never. Perry will never. And I'm not mad at him because you know what? He's in Baton Rouge and he works for Southern. But come on, man. Southern is not. Come on, stop it.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's typical SWAC since I've been following the league is that you don't look at the recruits, you don't look at the coaching. You look at, because I want them to do this, they're going to do this. It has to be played on the field, Coach.
Well, Coach, that's why our show is a lot different. We ain't shooting from the hip. We shooting from the numbers. We've been very successful in the past, and we're looking to do the same thing this year. So it's tough. It's tough. That Dion was able to come in and take over. But, hey, Willie was right there. I mean, 7-6 in one of the games, and Willie was right there and just couldn't punch it in. So it's right there. But see, here's the other thing. And then you got a lot of good teams. So every week you got to get up for a good team. That's tough. And then you get them injuries. But when you don't have a lot of good teams, one team can run through like that.
Let me say this. Let me just say this. And this is just another observation. 3 years. I don't know how many SWAC wins, but 2 SWAC losses against those 2 JSU teams coached by Deion Sanders.
Right.
I would think Florida A&M is the boogeyman, and you wouldn't want to aggravate the boogeyman.
That's why. Let me tell you something. And Wisdom can talk about this, EA and my family people. That's why we sit back. Let me tell you what's so funny about the disrespect. And I think this is a great topic. And this is for people to call in because I do want to hear this. And we got time. I know we're trying to get off. Yeah, I want my people to call in about the because you got listen here, Coach. You got the Prairie View people. They feel disrespected. This is our year. But they didn't get picked number 1. They feel disrespected. You got the JSU people. You got my nephews and them saying they going 11-0, but they got picked third in the SWAC. They feeling disrespected. You got Alabama State, who the SWAC people picked them, right, number 1 in the East, but people don't even have them ranked in the top 25 in the FCS poll. And Dr. Cavill got them what is that, Rocky? Got them 7 or 8?
Yes.
Behind Jackson State. And so they feel disrespect. FAMU is the defending champions, and Willie's gone, and the 237, and we feel disrespected. That is what is so beautiful about everybody feels disrespected. Everybody feels disrespected. Everybody got this chip on their shoulder. So I like that. I like the fact, but what I want to do is, if you have a team, call in and tell me why you feel that your team is being disrespected. I just want to hear from some of these people, because I know why I feel, because it tickles me when you got people. We literally had somebody, I watched the show, and shout out to Josh Sims and them with HBCU United. None of my nephews. Great show Sunday. So check those guys out. But you had somebody rock on that team that said, honestly, with a straight face, that Oklahoma State was going to be FAMU. With a straight face. You can't know football. That's not going to happen. I mean, anything can happen, but I'm just talking about more like, or I will say that if you think it's going to happen, please bet me. Call in right now. Make you some money. Because they're not going to bet, because they don't believe it. So, see, when you bet, you believe it.
Mr. Campbell, let me say this. You guys have had a tough offseason, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. You guys lost Willie, right? You went through the whole situation with getting Cozy hired, which was a debacle in my opinion. You had the $237 million gift that
had nothing to do with the football team.
No.
Nothing to do with the football team.
Hold on. You guys have lost in just a few months. You lost your president, right? You lost and probably the person who put this winning all together, because before her there was no SWAC championship. You lost your AD.
Don't you see? You know what? You know what?
You lost.
See, coach.
You mean the one with sleeping with the rings on?
Sleeping with the rings. Not one of those rings that she earned, coach. Didn't hire not one of the coaches that even got the rings.
See,
come on, man.
Who orchestrated the Celebration Championship season? Because before her, no other AD was able to get it done until she arrived on the scene. Now, you guys have lost her, and coach. Let me say this. At this game in Atlanta, after you guys win, will you guys be able to exhale and then truly celebrate that victory?
Okay, well, see, let's clear this up. This goes back, and I'm gonna say this to the outside. You all keep thinking that we haven't celebrated. It's y'all that keep saying that. It's y'all that keep saying that, oh, we in shambles. And I talk to people from FAMU every day, and we just fine. I got a big old smile on my face. I have celebrated. We are the champions. There's only one other school in the SWAC that's won the Celebration Bowl. That's Grambling, which I actually sponsored. So I've been around 2 championship programs. Nobody else in the SWAC can say that as in the Celebration Bowl era. So why would you think that we're sitting up here huffing and puffing when we actually won the damn thing? That's y'all that's thinking that we sweating. Coach, we don't sweat, coach. We don't sweat.
I got you. Well, look, how many days we away, coach?
What is this?
4 days away.
4 days away, coach.
And
4 days away.
Hopefully, if we can get Odom on the show between now and then. Right now, I'll fly out. I'll be in Atlanta at 1:45. We got to pick up those media passes the day of the game. So we definitely got to talk some. And we're getting up in the suite, right, Coach?
Absolutely. Got it locked and loaded.
Yeah. So we be ready, man.
There'll be a press suite as well up there.
Yeah,
and,
it is. Coach, it's food, everything. Yeah. You running with me, big dog.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, hey, we got one call. Let's get it out the way.
All right.
So we can wrap it up. Caller, you're live on HBCU Coach's Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
This Coach Pep.
Hey, how you doing, Coach Pep?
I kind of question for you I got a question for the panel.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Gremlins over there in the West because they have better coaches. They have 3 coaches that done been head coaches, and I noticed you picked Alabama State over Florida A&M Rocky,
Uh-huh.
and I noticed you, Mr. Campbell, picked Prairie View over Alcorn.
I did.
I got a question to ask both of y'all. If Mickey Joseph was at Florida A&M, how would you pick Florida A&M then, Rocky? If Mickey Joseph was at Alcorn, would you pick Prairie View over Alcorn?
Well, here's what I say. You take all those coaches over there. I'm gonna ask you, Coach Pep, has any of those coaches, as a head coach, won a championship on any level?
Mickey won the national championship at LSU.
No. Oh, no. As a head coach is what I asked. As a head coach, has any of those coaches won a championship on any level?
He won at Langston.
Yeah,
What
he didn't win the
won at
championship,
Langston.
but he did win at Langston.
He had a championship at Langston.
Nope. I'll have to take your word. Our fact checker disagrees, but we'll follow up on that. Here's my thing, Coach Pep. Here's my thing, Coach Pep. For me, right, Mickey Joseph is a great recruiter. That's what's been proven time and time again. He's a tremendous recruiter. However, if you are a winning head coach, right, then you have to win as a head coach. I can't give you that title on hope or what I think. That's what it is. So he's coming after a coach that was fired, coach. A coach that was fired, who supposedly had talent. He had a mass exodus of players from his program.
He got the best quarterback in the SWAC, and he got the best wide receiver in the SWAC because I sent him over there.
Hey, coach. Hey, see, that's that beans and rice theory. Because they eat jambalaya every Thursday. They supposed to be the best team in the SWAC, huh? Is that what it is, coach? Because I'm telling you, coach. There is no tangible reason why you can pick Grambling over Alcorn or Prairie View.
Rocky, let me say this. But Coach Pep, you said they got the best quarterback and the best receiver, but what about the other 9 players? It's not other players on that field too, Coach. And that's where the problem comes in with Grambling. I like Grambling this year. I think they're going to be better. But overall talent, and the reason why I picked Prairie View, first of all, I picked Prairie View because of the way the schedule lays out for them. I believe the schedule lays out for them to win the West. That's why I picked them. And then for Grambling, I'm like Rocky. I think there's a learning curve that Coach Joseph, and he's going to have to get his recruits. I think Grambling's going to be back. I think Grambling's going to be back with the G for real. But Coach, like I said, it's another 9 players on that, and I think there are other teams that overall have a better offense than Grambling. So that's the reason why I wouldn't take Grambling.
And this is the last thing I'm going to say, Coach Pep. I know Coach Dooley has won championships as an offensive coordinator, but I can't unsee what I seen the 3 years I seen him coach offense. I can't unsee that. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe he'll get it right this time, but I can't see what I've seen.
The offensive coordinator for Alcorn? You looked at the offensive coordinator for Alcorn. He is 0-22 as a head coach.
Who is that? Who is it?
fact check that.
No. You might got a point, but here's what I will say. You have Cedric Thomas on that staff who kept continuity. They clearly had a plan at Alcorn because on the National Signing Day, they had 25 early signees. You understand what I'm saying? Like there was kind of while Grambling was losing 20 players, Alcorn was signing 20 players. I think that makes a big difference.
But I can see you picking Alcorn to win the West because they had the best team in the SWAC last year. But the defensive coordinator lost the game to Texas Southern. And they made him their head coach. And if Florida A&M would have played Alcorn last year, we would have been crowning a new championship.
Woo! Coach Pep coming in hot. Yeah, Coach Pep, you feeling really good now, boy. You right here coming in hot on the coach's corner.
Hey, Coach Pep, you on them Louisiana vitamins, ain't you?
No, I don't take one medicine. That's my high blood pressure medicine.
Hey, what about that? What about that rum or that brandy?
Hey, that guy's name was Coach Gales.
Coach Gale.
Coach Gales, he was at Lincoln University
in 22
in Jefferson City.
Okay.
Lincoln has never won. And he's part of the North Carolina Trio. Morehouse. I'm sorry. North Carolina Central. Yeah. He came from that North Carolina Central's tree under Jerry MEAC. Yeah, I know this guy. Matter of fact, my buddy took his place at Lincoln University.
My biggest deal with Prairie View was at the time I was evaluating the team, no one knew who their quarterback was going to be. And last I checked, you can't field a team without a quarterback. Now, if that situation has been improved for Prairie View, with a guy who has some experience, some game film, if that's the case, then so be it. But up to this point, I have no idea. Still, I interviewed the Coach Pep, and the only thing Bubba McDowell did when I asked him about the quarterback was grin and smile. I hope that's a good thing. You understand? He didn't complain. He didn't cry. He didn't fret. He just smiled and say, "You'll find out at the Labor Day class."
Yeah.
So
I graduated from Alcorn, but I'm picking Grambling to win the West, and I'm picking Jackson State to win the East.
Okay, hey, those are good picks. I figure Jackson State will be up there. I just think, again, somebody said it here earlier, Alabama State was a quarterback away. Now I believe they had the best quarterback in the SWAC, and so I think Alabama State is poised to win the championship. But we'll see, Coach Pep. Thank you for calling in, Coach. It's always good talking to you, Coach. It's time for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, just one thing. I think the person that says that, and I think that's Ezra Kelly, which I believe was their outstanding running back down there in Alabama State. I think that young man was outstanding and an outstanding student. So Kelly, if you're the kid that I'm talking about, I'm gonna give you your respect, but you still drinking that Alabama State liquor down there to say that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But we'll see. But I think if that's the young man who I think is the running back, the former running back Alabama State, that's an outstanding young man. We're glad that you're watching the show. All right, go ahead, Rocky.
The only thing I was gonna say, Coach, we had a great show once again, and we did not keep it under 2 hours. So we on a streak, Coach. We on a streak, and so I hope you guys have eaten. I hope you guys or get a chance to we not too far past your bedtime, keeping you. But with no further ado, Campbell, if you don't have anything else, we can let Coach have final last word.
Let me just say one thing.
Okay.
I'm excited that football is back. I want you guys to join us every Tuesday to hear the best HBCU sports talk with Coach Johnnie Cole. I'm excited to be here, and I'm just going to be a fan. But I am going to bring the facts. I'm the facts fan, so I just want to let you guys know. So if you come in this chat, make sure you come in with your facts. So, Coach, I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate you allowing me on for this ride. I'm super excited.
Hey, thanks, SWAC fan 100, man. That guy is really a supporter.
Man,
SWAC
that's
fan
love
100,
right there. That's
yeah,
love.
that's big love, and we thank you, man. And hopefully, maybe we can catch you down the line and do something with you. But hey, Coach, man, the DNC National Convention is on right now. Things are looking great. Unfortunately, I had a mishap in my family. But you know, we're circling the wagons, and you know, everything is gonna be okay. You know, so I'm kind of down, and I feel myself at the end of the rope. So, like I tell you, I'm gonna hold on tight because ain't nobody bad like you. Thank you for watching the show.
Wilkes with what you need to
See you
know
next time.
today. It's Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Number 1, Thursday was perhaps the most significant day of Vice President Kamala Harris's professional life, accepting the Democratic Party's nomination for President of the United States. On her way to a speech of a lifetime that will be studied for decades to come, there was a careful lead-up of politicians, civil rights leaders, and even family members explaining how to pronounce Auntie's name. In a beautiful weaving of the American quilt that Reverend Jesse Jackson spoke about 40 years ago, Vice President Harris told her audience who she is, a daughter of India and Jamaica, growing up in the United States in the flats of Oakland, her work ethic and values that drive her, and how she will present the case against her opponent, and then how she will lead this country. Number 2, NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams have been stranded on the ISS for nearly 2 months due to technical failures with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. Originally planned as an 8-day mission, it's now extended to almost 50 days, raising concerns about Boeing's engineering reliability. NASA and Boeing are working to ensure a safe return, though a re-entry date still has not been set. Number 3, post-workout mistakes can undo your hard work, but they're easy to avoid. Skip the high-calorie treats and opt for water to rehydrate unless you've done intense training. Refuel with healthy snacks like nuts or a protein shake to keep your metabolism running smoothly. Number 4, Monique Brooks, a 49-year-old black trans woman, was fatally shot in an Orlando parking lot last month. She is the 22nd known trans individual to die violently in the U.S. this year. Law enforcement is still searching for a suspect, and her family urges the community to share any information to help bring justice. Number 5, centuries after Harriet Tubman inspired many to seek freedom, she now inspires Harriet's Bookshop, a black-owned business in Philadelphia. Owner Janine Cook transformed a consulting space into a thriving bookshop, raising funds through GoFundMe to purchase the building. Harriet's Bookshop has become a community hub, supporting black women-owned businesses and expanding into more welcoming space. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Let's choose to be honest, which leads to a clear conscience. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed. Be
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.